Hello, hello! Welcome to my channel. My name is Haoto, and today we're gonna react to something different. Yeah, something different than usual because we're gonna react to Clair Obscur, Expedition 33's wild 6-year development cycle. I must say I love the game. I haven't. Yeah, shame on me. I haven't finished it yet. I'm at episode 2, act 2. Yeah. I kind of stopped playing because of time reasons and never get back to it. I want to, but you can still judge me. You can still shame me. I have to. I have to finish the game, but I thought it would be interesting just to look into it, into the development and stuff. Yeah. Let's go watch.
This is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, just
Ooh.
1 year into development. This footage you're seeing was made with the
God damn. Oh, that's so interesting.
33, just 1 year into development.
That's so interesting. What the frick? Look at that. Damn.
This footage you're seeing was made with the sole purpose of trying to find voice actors for the main characters. In fact, the
Ooh.
creator of the game would literally be posting this to Reddit in order to find voice actors for their characters. And
Wait. Working with a small team. Okay. Gives the whole script of the demo. That's cool though. And I think they found really good voice actors. They found really good ones.
be posting this to Reddit in order to find voice actors for their characters. And from that same Reddit post, the creator would also find a lead writer, of which also had no experience in working in games before.
Oh, really? Ooh, okay.
In fact, her previous role was an investor at a private equity company. To top it off, the composer for the game's soundtrack had never written a game soundtrack before.
God damn, they just like gambled with the people, huh? But goddamn, they delivered. What the fuck?
And he was brought on after the director of the game found him off of SoundCloud. And to put this
SoundCloud?
into perspective, most AAA games like Fortnite or Call of Duty are backed by hundreds of developers across dozens of different departments. So this begs the question, how did a team that's smaller than the Call of Duty microtransaction department craft the most visually incredible and most impactful RPG we've seen in years?
Love and passion, okay? Love and passion and time, okay? Ah, I love that song.
And most impactful RPG we've seen in years.
It's so beautiful. Oh. God damn.
Expedition 33's journey began in late 2020, but the first concepts actually started 4 years before that. Guillaume Broche, who was the founder of Sandbox Interactive and the director of Expedition 33, was at Ubisoft for roughly 4 years.
Yeah, I heard the story about the Ubisoft employees.
From 2016 up until 2019, he would work on games like The Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. After those two games shipped, he was put in a narrative lead role for a game franchise called Might and Magic. And like many of you right now, I had no idea this game franchise even existed.
Yeah,
but apparently, the franchise is a mobile game owned by Ubisoft Shanghai, and Broche was leading the narrative for this franchise. And as you would expect from leading narrative on a mobile game designed to extract as much money as possible from players, Guillaume got bored with the work that he was doing on the team. And
understandable. I can't believe how like annoying this must be.
really felt like there was no impact to what he was doing. And during this time, he had ambitions that went beyond being shoehorned into a mobile gacha game. He knew that a game like Expedition 33 would never be greenlit by Ubisoft, so he quit his
definitely not by Ubisoft. God damn.
Job in order to pursue his ambition. Alongside him, Tom Guillerme had the same ambition.
Look at those drawings, so pretty. Look at this, so cool. love art.
Pursue his ambition. Alongside him, Tom Guillerme had the same ambitions as the director, so he would also leave Ubisoft and join the infant team. With the director writing up the narrative and Tom, who had expertise on how Unreal Engine worked, the small grassroots team would begin by exploring Unreal Engine 4. While the director was messing around with Unreal Engine, the original prototype for Clair Obscur was supposed to be related to time. So when he had to save the project on his computer, he had to find a name for the project file. So what would the project be called? Well, the game's related to time, so maybe Hourglass. Well, Sands Fall in an hourglass. Okay, Sands Fall is the working name of the game, and from that point on, the game's internal working name would be Sandfall, even to this date. With Tom at the helm as co-founder and CTO, and Guillaume as CEO and also a co-founder, they would embark on their expedition to create a brand new world by themselves.
Look at him go!
Now that the studio had been founded, it was time to actually build up the game. Since Guillaume wanted this game to have a big focus on narrative, he began reaching out anywhere he could to find people who would be interested in helping the passion project evolve into something a bit more serious. He created this post on the subreddit r/recordthis for free, looking to cast actors for the main roles of the game, including, of course, Mayel. One of the many people who auditioned from this Reddit post was Jennifer Schvedberg-Yen. She got one of the leading roles as an actor. However,
Let's go!
once she joined the team, it was pretty clear that her impact would be most noticed in a writer position.
Oh,
so
really?
she became lead writer on the
Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, goddamn, I love that. I love that so much that everyone just like coming in and doing whatever they think they're gonna do, and then everyone's like living their dream of like doing some stuff. That's so cool. Damn.
game. Despite the growing teams, the co-founders and Jennifer Yen said that they wore many different hats during the game's production. Her involvement would span from story to gameplay to art and all over the project. At this point, the small team continued prototyping and development on the game, but the team started the hunt for a composer at the same time. The co-founders began their hunt for a composer by reaching out to the most popular composers in the industry, like Hans Zimmer, Johnny Paisano, Danny Elfman, and... just kidding. He began his search on SoundCloud.
Oh. I mean, yeah, he got me.
That's where he found Laurien Testart. And at this point, Laurien had never worked on a game before.
And that's crazy. He did such a great job. What the fuck?
But caught the attention of the co-founders based off the work he's done on his SoundCloud. I am not making this up. The composer of Expedition 33, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a video game, had never worked on a video game soundtrack before. Oh, and actually, it wasn't SoundCloud. It was even crazier than that. One night, the director went on an obscure gaming forum with like 10 people on it. And he made a post asking if anybody would want to join his team as a composer. And out of sheer luck, Laurien Testart had also randomly found this forum for the first time, just an hour after the post.
You know, I don't believe that much in that shit, but that is fucking destiny, okay? God damn.
Was made. The hunt to expand the team wouldn't end just there. They would also find the studio's art director too. Nicolas Maxon Francombe would join the studio during the founders' hunt through online forums. The core development team of 6 developers would continue to work on the prototype for Expedition 33. Driven by a cohesive vision of what they wanted the game to be from the very beginning, the teams spent the majority of 2020 building out the studio first. And then towards the end of the year, the game itself. Everyone was on the same page here and had the same goals as each other: to make one of the best reimaginings of a classic JRPG that anybody will ever play.
Damn. Look at that. Oh. Songs, man, the songs.
By April 2021, Sandfall moved into a bigger office, and the core development team working on Expedition 33 started to expand. The team went from 6 employees to now more than 15 working on the game.
Let's go.
Comprising mostly of junior level engineers who didn't really have any experience in making games before, but were just as ambitious as the rest of the studio. The once grassroots passion project was starting to evolve into something bigger. By mid-2021, they were putting the finishing touches on a newer, rebooted demo. Something small, but was polished enough to attract attention. The original version of Expedition 33 was more Victorian, but these were all assets comprised of the Unreal Engine asset store, just as a quick way to rapidly create a simple prototype. But as the studio's new art director joined, they shifted directions a bit. The demo was meant to serve as a teaser for potential investors or as a foundation for a future Kickstarter campaign. In less than a year since forming the studio, the team began presenting their work to various publishers. Though still in a prototype phase, the demo was impressive, especially given the team's limited size and resources. Towards the end of 2021, they would meet with a brand new publisher, Kepler Interactive. And for those who don't know Kepler Interactive, they are a small indie publisher founded in September of 2021. Kepler Interactive is co-owned by a group of independent game developers, and their primary initiative is to help fund smaller indie games like Sifu, for example, and allow teams to have full creative freedom over their projects.
Damn, that's I mean, there should be more people like that. Just to give like creative freedom and let them do whatever. Just put in the trust. I know it can be like hard because it's all about money and shit. But goddamn.
Right off the bat, the publisher and the development teams hit it off and quickly inked a deal to work together in order to ship Expedition 33. Sandfall would use the extra funding rounds by Kepler to shift development from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5.
Woo!
Additionally, Kepler would also...
Yeah, the first time I saw the Unreal Engine 5, I don't know when it was. It's been a while now, I think. But the first time I saw the videos like this, where like you would just like see scenery and shit and like all the details, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? That looks so real.
From Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. Additionally, Kepler would also open the door for more popular voice actors to be brought onto the project. And of course, the small team of 12 people would grow to 22 people working on Expedition 33. Kepler Interactive and Sandfall would announce their partnership together in March of 2023. Additionally, around the same time, Microsoft would also pick up Expedition 33 as a Day 1 Game Pass launch title. At this point, the game had financial backing, guaranteed exposure through Game Pass, successfully switched over to Unreal Engine 5, and greatly expanded their tiny development team, all within a year or two, while also simultaneously working on the actual game. With their new investments coming in, they were also able to upgrade their office with a full motion capture studio.
Yes, that shit's expensive.
Interactive helped pull in a star-studded cast to help voice the main characters. The cast that Kepler was able to pull in is a bit wild. Gustav
Yes, look at him.
Was played by none other than Charlie Cox.
Yes. I'm so sorry, but like I love the Daredevil series and like also Punisher, that's another thing, but like the Daredevil, I love him so much. I love him as an actor. I love him. Sorry, I'm too hyped. Sorry.
Who you may know as Daredevil. Jennifer English played Mayel, who was Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3. Ben Starr played Verso, and he was also in Final Fantasy 16. Andy Serkis from, well, you know who he is. And the list just goes on with even more incredible talent. The game was becoming something much bigger than just a great game with excellent gameplay. It was also shaping up to become an incredible narrative experience that arguably could be up there with the best movies of all time. As a side note, on the movie side, Kepler Interactive was also able to secure a live-action film for the franchise too. It's too early to say how good that will be, but it is a fun fact.
Ooh, I didn't know. Ooh, that's interesting. I hope they don't fuck this up, but this is very interesting. Okay.
By the end of 2023, Sandfall Interactive would begin working on a debut trailer for Expedition 33. Since they had a partnership with Microsoft and were going to ship the game Day 1 on Game Pass, They also had a spot in the Xbox Game Showcase in 2024. This is where they chose to reveal their passion project turned masterpiece to the world.
Let's go! Let's fucking go! Look at that.
Sandfall Interactive would reveal the game to the world in June of 2024. And right off the bat, everybody was enthralled by the world that Sandfall had introduced us to. Typically, when a game spends 6 years in development, we would consider it to be stuck in development hell, or a case of too many cooks in the kitchen. However, with Sandfall Interactive and Expedition 33, a 6-year development cycle is actually a pretty remarkable turnaround. I know it sounds a bit crazy to say, but just looking at all of the accomplishments the studio made within the development cycle really helps highlight this point. The first 2 years involved just a couple of folks playing around in Unreal Engine to get a better feel of how the engine worked and creating a rapid prototype of Expedition 33. One that was a bit more Victorian and had utilized free assets from the Unreal Marketplace. The next 2 years were spent growing the team, with more talent, bringing in specialized directors, and starting the process of securing a publishing deal that would help bring the game into the limelight. And the final 2 years were spent iterating upon their prototypes and creating a game with a laser-focused vision, a vision that the entire team shared unilaterally. Not only was the team being built up during their 6-year development, but even their publisher was too. The CEO of Sandfall really hit it out of the park when he said something along the lines of, "You can accomplish so much when working with a smaller publisher team." Kepler and Sandfall both had double-digit employees, so the CEOs found it really easy to interface with each other. Alongside the fact that the studio had full creative control, the relationship between the two companies was solely dedicated to crafting the best game they possibly could, with no middlemen trying to squeeze money out of the players.
I hope from now on that more like studios and more like everyone who's involved take this as an example how much you can achieve, and how much people love this game. I don't think it will happen. I think it will still be very money driven, but I hope for the gaming world that this set an example, because this is very amazing.
2 months later, the team would put out a 6-minute gameplay reveal. This reveal would showcase all of the work that they had done thus far during development. At this point, the gameplay they showed off looked to be almost identical to the final version we would get a couple months later, so it's safe to say the work that remained at this point was bug fixing and minor UI changes. By the end of 2024, the team had finally finished the core development of the game, and it was time to celebrate. They knew that the game would be releasing next year, and they anxiously waited fans to get their hands on their project. And to no surprise to anybody who's played Expedition 33, they absolutely crushed it. Not only was it a critical success with reviewers, but also gamers. Since release, the game has been in the top 10 most popular games on Steam alone. In just 12 days, the game sold over 2 million copies, and we can only imagine what the actual player count is if you factor in Game Pass. The story of this game's development is just crazy. The teams absolutely deserved their flowers in creating such a great journey with such a small team. But don't just take it from me. Here's the founder of Larian Studios, the developers of Baldur's Gate 3, predicting the success of Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Ooh.
So it turns out that not only will I be the one who will know as first which game wins tonight, but I actually also know which game is going to win next year, the year after, and the year after. Now, how do I know this? Well, an oracle told me. She said, change is coming. The oracle told me that the game of the year 2025 was going to be made by a studio who found the formula to make it up here on stage. It's stupidly simple, but somehow it keeps on getting lost. Studio made their game because they wanted to make a game that they wanted to play themselves. They created it because it hadn't been created before. They didn't make it to increase market share. They didn't make it to serve as a brand. They didn't have to meet arbitrary sales targets or fear being laid off if they didn't meet those targets. And furthermore, the people in charge forbade them from cramming the game with anything whose only purpose was to increase revenue and didn't serve the game design. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, the revenue will follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun. And they realized that if the developers didn't have fun, nobody was going to have any fun. They understood the value of respect, that if they treated their developers and players well, those same developers and players would forgive them when things didn't go as planned. But above all, they cared about their game because they loved games. It's really that simple.
I'm not crying, you crying. Why am I emotional? The fuck? This is beautiful. I love it. I love it.
The Oracle.
Clair obscur, au point tu trouveras sans elle. Clair obscur, tu trouveras effet. Clair obscur, au point tu trouveras sans elle.
C'est vraiment une expérience qui a été très importante pour moi. J'ai pleuré pendant 2 jours, j'ai rigolé, c'était formidable.
God damn. God damn. And hey, Game of the Year, huh? Congrats! Congrats. They definitely deserve it. I voted for them, okay? I voted nearly everything. And I'm glad they won, like, I don't know, nearly all of the prizes for the game. So good. So good. As I said before, I hope more studios, I hope more like game developers go that route with like creating something that they love and they want to like, you know, that's incredible. But yeah, we will see. But hey, amazing game. I should definitely finish it. And you, if you haven't played it yet, maybe you should. It's definitely a good game. But yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.